Hello, my name is Thomas Christian Zog. I'm legal owner of Junction Functions, a theater collective group operating in the junction of the Godfather City. The Six. So today was a Saturday. It was the 19th of March, and in association with U of T's Rotman School of Business, as an international business entrepreneur, keep in mind I am aware about intellectual property, and I just said I run a theater. Own a theater that is just new to the neighborhood. And I'm going to state this again, I am an international business person. I have the mind of an international business person, and as part of some PhD level research I've been doing for the last 10 years, I conducted a marketing experiment this afternoon out of a local coffee shop. Now, the intended purpose of this marketing experiment was to see if, through the use of inside information, combined with other relevant factors to sales in local businesses in regards to weather trends and social trends and political trends, and namely the Solari Index. The Junction is a very safe neighborhood. All those types of things. I conducted a thought experiment using some methodology that is currently still under development as a theory in psychology. I have a quantum physics thesis that I'm also working on, that I've been working on for a while as well. So I was doing marketing research outside of a coffee shop, and the owners of the business didn't want to take me seriously as a business person because I was, in their eyes, a homeless street performer. Now, the thing about the Solari Index is that you want things to be peaceful. Oh, this is one of my associates. Give me a moment. Yo. Just got back from doing that marketing experiment for the Junction. The Solari Index seems to look good. However, there is a little bit of underworld interference still in regards to being able to get the criminal underworld to benefit off of insider information in regards to aiding the small business revolution. So there was a little bit of a hiccup. I feel like the Brits, were being probably a little bit too nosy. And they now have probably some information that will satisfy them to respect a difference of opinion professionally and allow these legal actions that I'm taking against some proven to be criminal above top secret conspirators in the basic general national breach of security, which is currently taking place, because I am shooting a video of you and I talking about our business, my anonymous business partner, over the phone. Correct. No, you need an 8th mail to RCA mail. No, like male, like penis. Like male and female. the way to think about chords is in terms of gender. So a male chord has a penis. A female chord has a hole. So the amp is a female, and it needs to be penetrated by two penises. So one's red and one's white. So that's a RCA setup, but it's only got the one clit, so it has an 1/8 inch cable to connect, because I'm assuming you want to connect like a smartphone to the amp in order to make a backbeat. So that's good. And then the other thing that you need is an XLR in order to, because I believe I still have the microphone. Yes, I do. Because the situation there, I feel like the people that owned the coffee shop didn't really understand or appreciate the scientific significance behind the marketing experiment that I was doing. I think they were just paranoid about their business being impacted negatively, when in reality, I created a situation that the only reason their business looks bad currently is because they acted outside the capacity of the law, and they tried to assert influences that they legally did not have. You know, the bitch little girl that was running the coffee shop in her mind was like, well, I own the sidewalk outside my business. And I was like, well, sort of, technically, you're close. You own this part of the sidewalk, but this part over on this line, this is technically the city's property. And so I disclosed everything in a way where, you know, one of their Brit guys needed to come and suss out and see, to pick up and gather the intel. And I think the British don't really appreciate how security clearance protocols are, again, limiting their intelligence community from making intelligent decisions. And that's the whole problem with the spyware, is that it's all based on secrecy and lies. And the city of Toronto, as you may or may not be aware, is where the world's, I guess you could say, good angels of the intelligence world come to talk rationally and try and figure out how to make the world better. Because that's what Toronto is. Toronto is the good. It's New York that is the screw-face capital of Canada. Because all this American culture being pushed in the Canadian market is counterproductive to means and goals that need to be achieved by the Canadian people in order to reestablish a democracy and you know. Oh yeah, dude, yeah, the amp is good to go for everything. It's just, you know, show business. We have so many levels of operating internationally that I've had to do so much legal wrangling for the Bandies crew in order to get, you know, the proper international representation lined up. Because when you go out of a country like Canada, most people think you go to America to be successful, and the answer is no. That's where you go to get silenced. So we're what? Oh, see, and the phone's starting to break up. What? Amp? What about the, yeah, you can have the amp anytime you want. Just drop by the theater space anytime. You know where it is. Oh yeah, so eighth inch male to 2-prong male RCA. Yeah, that's just the beats and thing. And then the XLR cable is what covers the... Yo, who's running the sound for the show tomorrow? Oh, you know that I'm like trained as an audio engineer, right? Yeah. Well, you know what, as an audio engineer in that capacity, I could definitely be working no problem. Yeah, because like I just didn't feel up to, like, you know, having on a super social face and everything. You know, just, you know, with all these public disclosures that are coming out about my personal life, it's very, you know, I got a lot to deal with. You know, I mean, suing the government for human rights violations and shit. It's just one of those things about living in a fascist country, you know, and Yeah, oh yeah. Cause like yeah, I just gotta like chill out for a few more days, recover from all the tortures and make sure the rest of my friends being tortured are okay. But yeah, the amp is here, the mic and all that stuff. Yeah, international business involves classified information. Deal with it. Sorry, had to make a note for the video. Notice they're still anonymous. Yeah. So, I'm going to say you have full rights to this amplifier in the event of anything happening to me, because you're technically part owner of this amplifier, because you're a shareholder and stakeholder in the Junction Functions Theater Group, aren't you? Of course, of course. Do you want me to call you when I'm done making this statement to the wider Junction business community so I can explain my actions in a peaceful way without offending anybody? Oh yeah, totally. You know where the theater is. Okay, ciao. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I was conducting market research for a theater that's speaking to international consciousness and trying to be a growth place for artists that are working on stuff. And look, there's BCU 11. That is Behavior Criminal Unit 11. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff about the Canadian fascist police state. And the games that are being played with security clearances and people's lives and personal information, that's the whole story about all this stuff. It's like, how can this kid still be walking around in Canada with all of this for people that really know stuff? And that's, it'll make some of them angry, but again, I have not betrayed any of the laws, implicated anyone as an individual, and all I've done, as far as people that are involved on an operations level, and frankly, that's the only people that I'm caring about offending, like that gentleman from the British Monarchy Association that I had this very minor misunderstanding with. I still ain't looking for any trouble. So there's special apologies if you feel that my experiment outside of your coffee shop cost you some business. What I'm going to suggest is take a look at the trends and the uptick in business that you're going to be seeing over the next few days based off of the nature of the disclosures that were made and the amount of interest that people are going to have talking about it in your coffee shop. Because the irony is, not only was that a marketing experiment, it was also a protest. And I was pointing out that I don't have the legal right to behave as a queer person in the city of Toronto. And it should be legal to be queer, as long as you're not actually breaking the law. And as my brother Ali, the other guy that had the good sense to walk away because he understood just how every stuff works, because we're both technically what you could term as kings of Admiralty Court, and that's maybe a coded term, because I want my fellow countrymen in Canada to know that I am working towards establishing a global government, and I do not have a stake as a leader in it. I am hoping that we can have elections between people like Mr. Obama and Mr. Mulcair and Mr. Trudeau, the best of the best leaders to lead the world government. But the issue is how to protect democracy. And my father, a quote-unquote eccentric billionaire, he was the CEO of a company called Diebold, and he ran their Canadian operations. And if you know anything about Diebold and their operations within America, then you know that there's an implication that that company compromised the democratic rights and freedoms of the American people. Now, Canada still has a very strong electoral system because of the paper ballot. And I advocate use of the paper ballot because it's about, as you've seen from the Hillary Clinton situation, it's about who counts the ballots, not who actually votes. That's the unfortunate truth about democracy. And again, if people are going to try and kill me for saying that, well, I'm glad that I was able to say that. I'm glad I was able to make this function thing happen. I'm glad I gave that painting to that Jewish guy that was originally painted by Adolf Hitler while he was in Argentina, retiring and feeling guilty about the events of the Holocaust. Because honestly, I think he was a puppet. He was an artist.